let's go through making the leveling process from level 1 to level 10. Nice and easy. To start with, make sure you have done the initial quest to get the horse to be summonable for you. This is going to do two things. First up, we can get around a little bit quicker, but also finishing the quest for this, which is something like the sweat of my brow, is going to direct you to a set of huts just to the west of the starting area. Now, of course, I haven't used the new starting area yet, so I don't know how this mirrors or changes, which I believe is over this side somewhere. Just make sure you've got that done, and the XP from taking the horse and speaking to the NPC that you need to speak to, which is going to be like a tradesman, is going to get you to level 2, and therefore mean that you've made your first start and are able to get your first skill point spent, which is just going to give you a bit of an advantage, especially early on. In the area that you'll have ridden through to reach completing that quest with the mount, there are a lot of goblins around here, and these, as you can see, are level 2. Perfect. Look, there are two reasons you want to fight these. First, they do have a very small chance of dropping gear, but also they are the correct level for us to level on, and I recommend leveling from between level 2 to level 4 here, depending on how comfortable you are. There are some things that are going to dictate how you act around here, such as how many players are in your party, how many friends you have, and which class you are. If you're not able to do much damage and you're on your own, you're going to want to make sure you are doing single pulls so that you're not getting mobbed. If there are more of you, maybe you can pull more mobs in and do something a little bit more adventurous. And that exact same thing is going to be true no matter where you level. If you are a healer leveling solo for some reason, then maybe you should attempt to stick with staying out in the outskirts of all of the different places so that you are not getting mobbed from all over the place. Moving forward then, we'll call this our 3 to 6 leveling area. Now you're going to notice that a lot of the levels here are going to overlap. That's just because it's going to depend on how easy you're finding it, the class you're using, the gear you find, if you've got a group or not, all this kind of thing. But you can see that we were previously leveling just over here along the road. Well, now we've head east, almost back into the castle where the goblins have taken over kind of like a little square area. And we want to come to the center. If you can handle it, want to come to the center. So around here, the goblins are the same level, but in the middle, as you can see right here, they're a little bit higher level, and in particular, the shamans are actually going to drop better gear. If you can handle these, it's a good idea to try to farm this central platform for the enemies. That's what we did, but we did have a decent group with us, so we had a fair party to be able to handle a group like this. But if your group is a bit smaller than ours, or if you're just going solo or something like this, you can come one bridge further and you can come over to this area where you're actually going to be able to find a shaman that's level 3 out in the back there. So if you can just cross over into the back end, because you can see they don't really spawn on this little rampart on the back, you can go ahead and you can farm at some lower level shamans over in the back there, just so that you are still getting that extra XP and you are getting some extra chance at some good drops for you and your party. Once your party starts to reach levels between 5 and 6, you're going to want to come to a new place. This is actually kind of far and probably the furthest you're going to travel for the sake of this video. You're going to come further out to the east and then begin veering north. There is road pretty much leading all the way to where you want to go, but this does turn into a dirt road signified by the Briar Farm right here, and this is actually the spawn point that I recommend using, the Briar Farm spawn point, before you begin heading north so that you can reach Cora Lock. Now technically we have two that we can use here. Cora Lock is a little bit lower level than the Nicabre Ruins, but this is basically the two spots that you want to be using, and I'm glad that we've got two spots because these can be busy. You want to start out in the goblin area right here, and then as your level starts getting better and you start getting more confident, better gear, move on up to the hill, just clear out this spiral, get to the top, hang around up here for a little while. There's a couple of boss enemies up here that are going to be good for farming some loot from, and that is going to take you all the way up to level 7 with no problems. To finish off then, the recommendation becomes to continue northeast, so we're basically going to continue the line until you reach the Highwayman Hills. The enemies here are going to be significantly more difficult, so make sure you're prepared for this. If you're going solo, maybe you want to hang around out of the front so you can farm some of the enemies individually, maybe join into a party or something like this. This game is clearly intended to be social, so if you're trying to do the whole game solo, I'm sorry, I don't think that's going to work out very well, so try and bring a party into this. And there are several things that you can do in this area and lots of different places that you can use. In particular, if you are a smaller party, so 4 or less, the small island here is actually kind of perfect. The southern side has some bandits on there and the northern side has some griffins. The griffins are pretty good, they give superior XP, but the bandits have a better chance at dropping you some loot, so make your choice about that. And basically, if your party grows, you can then move into using the port or the forested area. Avoid going into the actual built up area, as there are a lot of 3-star are enemies in here. These are in fact fantastic for farming for extra XP, and you can actually get up to the levels like 14, 15 in there and expect to get some decent gear. But we are just looking at getting to like level 10 so you can get that nice initial boost. Finish off, here is a map that'll loosely describe what we've just been over in this video. So if you need to pause this or screenshot it, or if you want to share this with someone else, please obviously refer people back to the channel. It'd be great to get some subscribers, and I'll catch you all in the next one.